What is happening? Welcome to another pitcher video breakdown. My name is Nick Pollack. We're going to talk about Braxton Garrett. Why Braxton Garrett? Because he's been so good. He had it in this new cutter after this horrible game against the Atlanta Braves, and he's just been unstoppable since. He had 13 strikeouts in 7 innings against the Pirates. What is going on? So we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to watch a lot of them. Before we do, go to the comments and tell me who you want me to watch. I got requests from this one. That's why I'm doing Braxton Garrett today, for many other reasons too. But I read them. I know what you guys want to watch, and I'll do it for you. This is really fun. We just watch all the players in the majors, essentially, and tell you what to think. Okay, here we go. Braxton Garrett, show me something good. And that is a first pitch changeup to start the game. Maybe it looks like actually probably a sinker at 90 miles per hour. Yeah, that is the sinker. But lots of drop on it, right? I mean, let's watch that one more time very quickly. This is a lot of drop. That's why I initially thought it was a sinker. Or sorry, a changeup. Got the out. You love to see that. That's great. That's like the dream. You just got a first pitch out, and you're gonna throw the sinker again. That's right. That is the worst pitch, by the way, inside of Braxton Garrett's repertoire, is that sinker. And the biggest thing for him has been utilizing the cutter, the changeup, and the slider more, allowing the sinker to be a called strike pitch and not actually get swung at and into play. Nice to see that out there, but tons of called strikes in that sinker in this game. And there's that cutter, and he just comes in there. It's like, okay, fine. That's a called strike. You're now at 0-2. You're 3 pitches and 1 out and no 2 count. This is the best. So what you normally would see now is a changeup away. Oh, or the slider down and in. I'm fine with either one of those. I love the slider down and in. I'm a giant fan of it. It's obviously a high risk reward pitch because if you miss the slider, it lands here and then 0-2. That's a big swing decision time, and they're going to swing at that and drop the barrel and do well. But if you get it down here, they are going to swing and miss on it all the time. So it's high risk, high reward. I love it. I love the aggression of it, and I want more pitchers to take those chances. I think sometimes pitchers get too timid, where they overthrow or they feel like I can't put it in the zone because it's going to get destroyed, or if I make this mistake, it'll be a home run or something. I want to see more pitchers allow those ridiculous, just taking those chances and yeah, take their punches, but over time they become better for trying it. And a lot of people, I think, settle for mediocrity without realizing that they could be better because they didn't take those chances. He's trying to go inside there with a surprise sinker, which is kind of interesting. So playing off of the cutter inside. So then you start it inside and then come back over for the sinker. I love that play. It's what David Cohn calls X games. He would say you'd make an X on the outside corner, so one pitch coming into the zone and one pitch starting the zone going out, right?
Accolades can go on and on.
Oh, what are you swinging at? That's an interesting one. So, I mean, this is a high heater. You think, the way that this is angled, it looks like it starts away and comes back. It doesn't. This starts over here and comes back over because this is a lefty with a sinker, right? And so that's why that doesn't look as tempting as it is. That's why I initially was like, oh, why? I'm like, oh, right, of course. Yeah, sorry, McCutch. You got burned by a high heater at 9 miles per hour because you just weren't looking for that. And there's that cutter, free real estate. I mean, it's not really free real estate because it's more of a cutter as opposed to like the slider or the curveball. But yeah, you got the pitch in the zone, and it's going to work. It's a really good pitch. Oh, come on, Blue. That's a beautiful curveball. I love that. There's the changeup, and I love this approach right now from Garrett. He throws the cutter inside the zone, and then he's trying to get that quick out on these two breaking balls down. Or that was a changeup rather. The first one was a strike too, so it should have been 0-2. This would have been a swing at 0-2. So I'm just really upset this whole about right now. Now it's 2-1. You throw a cutter inside probably. Yeah, he was trying to do that. And why is it a cutter inside, Nick? Because it's a 2-1 count. And in a 2-1 count, you want to throw a pitch that you feel if they swing at it, it would get an out. You want the highest chance of getting out of this bad situation now. So that's why you turn to the cutter at that point. He got it in the zone. Great. Worked out for him. We were hoping to see like this, but he fell back in. He didn't, Connor Joe felt like it was going to stay up. Went back down. You got it. Good. Now you can do kind of a lot of things. You can do a changeup away. I have no hint here. You can do a changeup away and really mess with Connor because he hasn't swung. And like, okay, you need to swing at some point, right? You could try and you don't want to do a sinker away because that's going to be a strike a long time. So you could try to speed up the bat. You try to like surprise him with a sinker up in here because he hasn't done that. He hasn't thrown a single fastball his entire account. and maybe sneak that one. That would be a strike. Or you can do a changeup away, which is, I think, Garrett's best pitch. So they're doing the breaking ball. I mean, I feel like there's a curveball and a slider. Slider's more like 83. That's the 75, 77 curve.
You do it like Braxton Garrett's doing right now, just going right after him.
Ah, that's a strike. So I think Connor Joe hadn't seen the fastball the entire time and was thinking we were going to see more junk, right? 3-2, not a single fastball thrown. He's not ever going to throw any fastball. So this might be the cutter that's going to fall out of the zone. It could be the changeup that falls out of the zone. And the fact that Garrett stunned him with a low heater. There's a really great quote from Spencer Strider talking to Eno Saris about his whole approach, like I want fastballs up and sliders down. And then Eno says, well, what if they just say, hey, I see a low slider or low pitch, I'm just not going to swing. And Spencer Strider said, well, then I'll throw low fastballs.
Strike 3. Crew, first of a 4-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, look at that turn in. That's kind of showing you. I dig this. So look at body language will tell you so many things as a pitcher. Look how Carlos Santana reacts to this. Turns in. Why does he turn in on a pitch that is at 91? Look down the middle, because it's not really straight all the way through. The camera angle is messing you up here. This is actually a pitch that starts inside, maybe slightly off the plate, and then comes all the way back in. And if this were a four-seamer, maybe it does actually land right here, and maybe Carlos Santana can lean in and get that hit by pitch, but it's not. And you see that tells me as a pitcher, oh, Santana is not on that sinker, and he was looking for something else. So you might be able to attack with that. Oh, again, so that's another sinker, and he took that one. And a lot of times sinkers are kind of easy to push the other way. But Santana's smart here. He doesn't want to swing at this. Anytime, if any batter swings at this, they are doing themselves a disservice. Why? Because it's either going to be a whiff, it's either going to be a ball in play or foul ball. Foul ball is fine. Whiff is fine, I guess. It gets to 0-2. There's a chance it's not a strike, so you're ruining yourself there. But there's another outcome, which is a ball in play. If it's a ball in play, this is not going to be a hit. This is going to be off the end of the bat. It's probably going to be a bouncer to second base or first, and the at-bat is over. So Santana, being Santana, a veteran here, sees this pitch come in, and he's like, yeah, this isn't the kind of thing I'm looking for. I want to swing at. Even if it's called a strike, fine, I'll deal with 0-2 as opposed to swinging at this and possibly getting myself out of this at-bat. But they called it a ball because Santana's good like that. So now you go back inside. Ooh, yeah, cutter. So now Santana's ready to roll, right? He's like, okay, I'm looking for nothing down here. I'm going to be trying to swing at something up, and he gets it. That's a kind of a hanging cutter. I know it doesn't even make it to the zone, or maybe actually the dot says like it's barely doing that. But this is kind of where Santana was looking, and he got something close. But to see the aggression on that cutter tells me I should probably do something slow here. So I'm going to do the changeup away personally. Oh yeah, okay. So he's way out in front, right? That's the slider, not the cutter. I'm actually really surprised of how much I'm seeing Garrett try to get that down and in slider. He hasn't done it once well. He bounced one. He's missed twice with two others. I think the changeup is really his thing, but it's really cool to see him try to make that slider work. Oh man, I think that was a changeup that he just completely fell out of his hand. Yes, there it is. Nice. Sure, 1 for 4. But yeah, that's the pitch, man. Oh, one of the joys of what I do, what do the best pitchers in baseball do? They make adjustments. Look, this is a 1-2 pitch from Braxton Garrett that's hung up. It's at 84, right? So 2 pitches later, what is he trying to do? He's trying to get this down and in. And he goes back to the pitch and executes it and gets the strikeout. And that's inside of an at-bat. A lot of times you see pitchers that need to make an adjustment between games and bullpens, sometimes maybe even the inning where they're going to throw it in their warm-up pitches. But Braxton Garrett made the adjustment he needed to make inside of an at-bat to get the strikeout. Yeah, that's cool. That's the good stuff. That is like, you guys just saw the whole journey of that at-bat, right? There's all of these stories in every single at-bat. It's the joy of baseball to me. Understanding what Garrett's trying to do, what Santana is good at. What are they going to execute? Oh, this game's the best. Yeah, that's some free real estate. Good stuff there with the slider. Good. Cutter inside. And you're kind of noticing, Garrett isn't just like throwing stuff right down the middle of fastballs and everything. These cutters are hard to hit. And he's also not really missing the cutter down over here. Why would that be a problem? Because that's really hittable. That is much more hittable and readable as a hitter to go after. This is a cutter coming in. I don't know if you want to swing at this one, but then it comes back down. So it's kind of a harder swing decision and really timing for that. So now 0-2. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Yes! Oh, look at the sequencing. This is beautiful. So watch this. This is a cutter that Garrett throws inside, and the movement of that is going toward the batter, right? Towards Castro. So what do? You throw a sinker that starts off the plate inside and now comes back in, and he thinks this is going to be the cutter that hits him, and it's not, and that's strike 3. Oh, that is how you command, and that's how you sequence. Oh, it's like the dream of a pitching coach. Like, we write down on our paper, like, okay, this is, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Here's a game of execution. And it never goes to plan. Like a general at the overlooking the army, it's like, oh man, that didn't happen. You can write it up all you want, and I can sit here and say, like, yes, do this, do that. But to see him actually execute it perfectly and just to see the results, like, that's what good pitchers do. All right, great. You got a breaking ball for a strike. They're down and away. You didn't hang it too much, so Winksy can do things with that. But if it's down farther enough, you got it. Good. Like, there's a difference. This free real estate is not this. And if you guys remember the other day, there was a curveball that was hit from Alpha Luis. So no, it was Jesus Luzardo. There we go. He tried to get free real estate against a lefty. And instead of getting it away on the outer half, he got it on the inner half. And then all of a sudden, that became a 3-run shot against the Giants. Check out that Jesus Luzardo video. That's a really fun one, too. So that is the difference between free real estate. You can do it. It's just not all places in the zone are equal for free real estate. You just don't want to get it down there. He got it far enough away. This was a foul ball. So now then you're ahead. Oh, you're going to throw the breaking ball again. You can see the This is a trick for everybody trying to predict what's going to happen next and then getting the extra anticipation. Look at the catcher. You see how he's essentially making the W where his butt's more in the air and the glove is down. And you see his chest is going out in front. Why is that? Because he's getting ready to block. He's in preparation mode to block. When they are lower in their body, that means they're ready to pull it up for a fastball or something else that they expect to be very much in the zone. So I can tell right now, I mean, I could be very wrong and make a massive mistake, but this is likely going to be a breaking ball down and away. Yeah. So it's kind of fun when you watch these games to get that extra little bit of information of what is going to happen, and then you're able to read the event better. Watch the catcher. I don't actually, generally when I watch pitchers, I have to take a moment, especially new guys, to only look at the mechanics. Don't even look at the results. Just look at the pitcher all the way through. But generally, when I'm watching a game, I don't look at the pitcher. I look at the catcher. I look at where this is going to go. The ball is going to go in. I can see in my periphery the ball release and everything like that. But I follow the glove of the catcher. And I did it again. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. That's what I call the gambit, right? So here we are. It's 1-2. Right? So we talked about this. It's 1-2. Great, you got the 2 strikes. What's the textbook say? You throw a breaking ball out of the zone, right? So Sawinski's like, okay, not going to fully swing on this one. And he's so tempted. So tempted to, right? Oh, man. So what do? They say you were very tempted, and generally after someone resists the breaking ball of the zone, oh, you have to throw a fastball now. Hitters think like that all the time. If you double up on it, that's why I call the gambit. If you double up, you will get success. And, yeah, he completely sold out on that one, right? Do that all the time. Let's keep going. This is so fun. Oh, I hit him? Oh, that's dumb. I mean, that's supposed to be free real estate. That's not supposed to be down and in. That's just that curveball got away from him. I mean, actually, I feel like it actually held on too long is really what happened. Just the release point was weird. So this is a very wow. He attempted a bunt. Okay, they're calling this a whiff essentially. Something to note: the first time in a game when a pitcher allows a base runner is a critical moment. And the reason for that is because now they're pitching from the stretch when they haven't yet the entire game. It's something new for them to get introduced. Think of it kind of like a first inning almost. Like they're restarting everything that they've done. They have to do it differently now. So the first batter that you face while pitching from the stretch for the first time is often a little worse. And I love when pitchers just lock in on that first batter. I think it's so important to see. It's a good indication if they're going to get out of jams essentially in that game. So that's a bad cutter. That's not it. That's a beautiful slider. Oh yes, that's the good stuff. Bay is totally beat on this, and the fact that he fouled it off is whatever. But like also, if you make contact on this, you don't want to because you're not going to do anything good. So 0-2 now. You just saw him swing at a cutter. You saw him swing at a breaking ball. Like, why would you throw a fastball? Don't throw a fastball. I mean, you could theoretically speed it up, and he's like, Bay is so focused on that. But the general rule of thumb is like, all right, you've been failing at this thing. I'm going to keep throwing it until you prove to me that you can resist it. And then you might want to do the gambit. See, like, yeah, right? That's what I talk about a lot with, like, you don't want to make contact, right? I mean, this is obviously 0-2, but imagine this were 0-0. You don't want to make contact with that pitch, right? If you're beat on it, just don't make contact. If it's 2-1 and you swing at that, don't make contact because the at-bat will be over. Fortunately, Bay is fast, so it's not a double play. But that's the end of your bat, and you failed. Nah, he's not going to work. Look at this. I don't generally like this. This is a fastball that clips the outside corner with a sinker. I mean, that's amazing. Like, if you can get your sinkers here, this is fine. But essentially, once you get to here, I hate it. Batters are really good, with sinkers especially, of just angling the bat a little bit more so that they don't get the end of the bat, but they get more of the barrel, right? Like, just think of it really quickly of just here's the bat, right? And if you keep it like this all the way through, like just you're swinging like this, is going to be the end of the bat. However, batters are really good at extending their arms and then tilting it so that now the end of the bat becomes the barrel, right? So with a sinker, which is also really a two-seamer, they're both synonymous now. The true sinkers are rare these days. I think Brian Bayo maybe has one where actually it's focused on vertical, but a lot of them are just a merge of horizontal. So they move this way, right? If you throw an away sinker to a guy, so opposite-handedness, right? That is just, you could just go with it. You can really just push it to right all the time. I mean, a lot of really good singles guys or speed guys are like made careers after hitting fastballs away to the opposite field. So this is good. I generally do not suggest sinkers away. I love his game plan of cutters inside and then the sinker gain the inside corner. I think that's really good. And then do slow stuff away. But sinkers, I mean, unless you can get that down in away corner with consistency, which Garrett is, to be fair, you know, then fine. Change it. Oh no, that's a sinker. So he got it though, right? This is what I talk about. So 2-1, you don't want me. Okay. It's a 2-1 count. I talk about this a lot. I talk about the pitcher a lot, but there are a lot of things that batters do as veterans. I'm gonna do this again. All right, I want to sail through this. I talk about pitchers so much on this channel, but hitters, you can learn a lot about them here watching these games. Look, this is a 2-1 count. And I mentioned if you're a hitter, you want to make sure that you're swinging at pitches in this at-bat that you can actually drive. In a 2-1 count, if this is not a pitch that you can drive, you don't want to make contact. However, Garrett executes this sinker perfectly, and you can hear it's off the end of the bat. And what happens? It's a double play. But what Hedges, which should not be swinging at this pitch. It's a strike though, Nick. Doesn't matter. Take it, tip your hat, and then get to 2-2, and hopefully you'll get a better pitch to hit. But because you swung at this, you got exactly what Braxton Garrett wanted, which was a double play to end the inning. Fastball in there. It's little things like that. Like, they really change good teams and bad teams. Like, just tip your hat to that. Carlos Santana didn't swing at that one earlier on, right? There's that good slider at 0-2. I love that. That's kind of the skill that Reed Detmers has developed this year a lot, and what made me really intrigued by him. Get that slider down and in. I mean, this is what Dylan Cease with opposite-handed, right? Get that in there, and that's a really good one. He's like, Nick, that clipped the zone. That's what you want. Actually, you want it to be a little bit more out. Because it is in the zone here, because it's here, he's able to make contact. He would still swing if it's here. So get it there and you don't do it. But I mean, like, that's nitpicking. This is a beautiful pitch. It's just it's little differences like that actually, you know, make all the... Oh my God. See, I love that. I love that. That's beauty. Beauty. That's a front hip. You can't see because it's the camera angle, but think of it like a righty doing a front hip a front door two-seamer, right? Like Aaron Nola doing it to a lefty. That's what Garrett is doing here, and you just can't see it because of the camera angle. But Braxton Garrett is so good. That's the most hittable pitch I've seen the entire game from Braxton Garrett. This is like Andrew McCutchen's like, yeah, he's gonna throw cutters inside. Here it is. Oh man, you can. So that means he's slightly out in front though. You can probably get this farther inside. That's what I think they're going to do. Or you can do the changeup away. Right. So you try to do farther inside. Good job, McCutchen, resisting that. Backdoor breaking ball. I'm cool with that. And 1-1. That's free real estate. Foul ball. Excellent. And I do wonder, now it's the turning of the lineup, we might be seeing more of those changeups now against righties. We didn't really see them a lot in the first pass, right? There's a lot of those sliders. Good sliders, cutters, and sinkers. I'm curious what we get. I mean, he's nailing that. That's so beautiful. That is, oh my gosh. What? He's just killing that. The command is insane. It is insane. Braxton Garrett. Oh, I mean, McCutchen knew. Oh, there's a free real estate with a curveball. Why are you swinging at that? I mean, okay, I think Connor Joe thinks it's more the cutter coming back in, and that's why you get that swing. Establishing that cutter early, because that's a pitch that like starts over here, and he thinks it's going to come back over as a cutter for a strike, but it's actually the two-seamer that goes away. You don't really see whiffs on sinkers away, but that's the only scenario when you would. Oh, that was too cute. It was too cute. That's like the perfect 3-2 pitch or like 2-2. At 0-2, it's too cute. Man, I mean, I would do that in like high school, right? I would throw backdoor curveballs and stuff at 0-2 and they would just freeze them. But like, because this is such a high swing chance at 0-2 and because of the cutter existing, Connor Joe is able to stay on this long enough to stay in, right? This is a backdoor slider, not a curveball. And it also does look like the cutter a little bit too, because it's like, you know, slider looks more like the cutter. And Connor Joe gets at the end of the bat, but good job on him staying in and doing it. And you want this to be down. You don't want this to be right there. It's so beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It looks so good. It's just at 0-2, you don't want to do this. You want to do this at 2-2, right? At ballet practice, 2-2. Okay. Sorry. That's a nice changeup there. That's a front door changeup. Santana's like, really? Oh my gosh, he's killing this. That's what I kind of expected to see more of. I expected to see more changeups. Now, a guy like Santana isn't really going to go up and be aggressive, though. So I'm actually a little curious about the call of a first pitch changeup here. Just because Carlos Santana is not typically, I think, a big 0-0 chaser. He's a very patient hitter. So a fastball he would go after. Changeup I wouldn't. So maybe that's why he was thinking that. You can fool him down away on it. Makes sense. Yeah, he's not going to swing at that one. He's going to see the spin and not swing. That's... yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the worst pitch he's thrown. Right? I mean, that's a fastball down the middle at 89. And as I began this video, what did I say? Braxton Garrett's sinker is his most susceptible pitch. It is his worst offering. Because when he misses with it, this happens. I don't like the pitch call in the first place. It's not it. You know, sinkers do miss there, and that's a strike for ages, and Carlos Santana gives it a ride. He's going to give that a ride every time. So, not a fan of that. 1-1 sinker away there. I don't think that's it. Yeah, that's not the... I mean, sure, down and away is perfection, and Garrett has done it pretty well, but I feel like it's... I don't know, it's not the risk-reward you want to have, right? Cutter inside, I think, there. Maybe it was actually the fastball. I don't know. It was just a miss. Good on Castro there. So they're getting a read now. The Pirates are adjusting a little bit because this is a cutter that's inside that either guys have been taking for a called strike or they have been kind of swinging and missing. And what you have to do to hit a cutter is you really have to do two things. One, you have to obviously pull your hands in as much as you can. But also when it comes to the bat, you have to wrap around it. One of the best things that Smoltz ever said on Fox broadcast was him talking about Rajah Davis against Aroldis Chapman, saying that Davis has to physically think of getting around the fastball as opposed to just trying to meet it straight on. He had to think of like, I need to go around that pitch to pull it. And that's exactly what Rajah Davis did, and that's what tied that game in 2016, which was incredible. But this is what Castro's doing. That's what you actually should be doing with a cutter inside, is you want to get out in front of it and then pull it back, right? And he almost does. He's just a little too far ahead. That's scary to me if I'm Garrett. I'm not doing that. Yeah, changeup is exactly what I was going to say. You have to get him. Now he's out of his shoes trying to get this thing. He feels like he's got it, and you got to give him some deception here. Changeup was a perfect call. Wait, hold on. Oh, that was the 1-0 pitch. This is the changeup, I believe. Yeah, okay, this is the changeup. All right. So now it's 1-2, not 2-1. That's what confused me there. Oh man. You know, as a pitcher, I hate this stuff so much. It drives me insane. Because it's not even like a ball in play. It's just, I was like, man, I had this. That's frustrating. It's a 2-2 count. Yeah, now it's 3-2.
It was actually a 2-2 count, so that ball down and in makes it 3-2. And now this is a ground.
All right, you throw a breaking ball for a strike and you get it out. Okay, that's fine. I wanted that 0-2 Connor Joe pitch. That's what I wanted for that one. But that's fine. Just throw it in the zone at 3-2. 3-2 is, it's pretty much like you hedge your bets at that point. You know, don't be cute. Just like, okay, you got the 3-2 count. Like, I'm going to likely throw a little bit of a worse pitch, but I need to make sure I don't walk you. Like, I'd rather take my chance and play than, of course, walking you. But anyway, that's what I'm going to go over today. I mean, you guys got the sense of what makes Braxton Garrett good. I actually kind of like that I showed this inning because you see the faults, the little things that make it feel very fragile. It's kind of why Braxton Garrett came out of nowhere doing this. But imagine Garrett without that cutter. You know, just think for a second, what does Braxton Garrett look like without the cutter? It's the slider and the changeup and the sinker, and that cutter just opens the door for making the sinker, doing those front door strikeouts, for making the slider even better because they think it's the cutter and it's not. It goes farther. I love what he's doing. I really think this command is so good, and I'm a big believer right now of Braxton Garrett. But that is it for today. So thanks so much for all the comments suggesting all the players to go over. I'm really happy we got to watch him today. That was great. But that is it. So my name is Nick Pollack, and may your BABIPs be low and your strikeouts high.